Okay, so
Brilliant.
all right, well,
Yes.
brilliant. So, just touching upon the things that we're going to be covering off today, then, because obviously there's quite a list, and we want to make
Mhm.
sure that we do it
No
properly.
particular order, by the way. So don't think number one is the most important. It was just what came to me from a higher power, from God. These are the six things to work with. So even if you want to go in any order you want to, or I'm like, oh, wait, let's do this. So there's flexibility there.
Yeah, I've kind of planned it out so it follows a nice structure and routine, and
Oh,
yeah. So the theme of it really, when I was looking at it, all of it together is about forgiveness, freedom, and
yes.
trust. So they're like
Yes, yes.
the three main themes, aren't they? It's interesting.
Mhm.
And what I've done is I've kind of tied in your birth chart, and your
Mhm.
numerology through your astrology, through the major influences
Yeah,
into.
because that was one of the things on there
Mm,
was delving even deeper into my numerology chart.
I
Which I
know.
honestly feel like every time I read it, I'm gonna learn something new or take something away from it each time.
That's right. They're kind of designed, for you to go back into them and read them again and again, and they will reveal more information as you. It's almost like as you're ready to receive the information, it will
Yes.
sink in. So
Yes.
I get a lot of people that come back to me years later and say, when I first read it, I was just like, wasn't really sure, and now when I read it, I'm like, I totally understand it now, and it's funny how that
Yes.
happens. So
In
yeah, so
like everything, yes.
so it's based around, your date of birth, obviously your life path number as being a three, and the five as well, your expression and your soul urge number are sort of tied into there as well. So it looks at your Capricorn sun, your Capricorn moon, and your Leo ascendant. And I use the Placidus system of astrology. So,
Okay, that's the one I'm
sometimes
familiar with.
you're familiar with that. Good, great.
Yeah.
I always find it the best. So the lesson really today is about to transmute self-judgment and fear, fear of failure, really, into joyful self-expression, heart-led leadership, and divine trust. So that's where we're going to
Yes.
hopefully get you to today. So we're going to start with like a grounding and opening session and set an intention, just so that
All
we
right.
can start anchoring your energy into the earth, etc., etc. And we're going to bring in some ascended masters and archangels to work with you today. And what I've chosen is the ascended master Saint Germain, because
Okay.
he works with the violet flame of freedom and transmutation. So we're going to call upon Saint Germain. We're also going to work with Archangel Zadkiel, and
Okay.
so he's the angel of mercy, and he's also about forgiveness, compassion, and transformation. So both Archangel Zadkiel and Saint Germain both work on the violet ray, but it's with the
And
violet flame.
and that's interesting because today I've wanted to wear purple.
Ah, there you go. Perfect. So it's the right color. And but also we're sort of working with Kuan Yin as well because she's also about compassion and it's for emotional soothing. So this is pale turquoise over pale coral. So Kuan Yin, and she's
Yes.
the goddess of mercy and compassion. So we're going to bring her in. And Anubis as well. Anubis, the
Egyptian.
yeah, the Egyptian god. So this is more magenta energy as well. So a lot of the colors that we're working with today are violet and magenta. And
Yeah.
uh, so I want you to sort of just bear that in mind as we're working through today's session.
All right.
All right. So um, keywords really for this is like forgiveness melts resistance and restores peace. So what I'd like you to do is just place your hands over your heart to begin with as we set this intention, and then just close your eyes and then just take a nice deep breath in and hold for a second and then breathe out. And just let it go. And then taking another deep breath in, holding and breathing out. And once again, another deep breath in, holding and breathing out. So just letting go anything that no longer serves you today and call upon Archangel Zadkiel, the Ascended Master Saint Germain, the Ascended Master Kuan Yin, and Anubis. just calling them in and just feel them surrounding you, supporting you, even holding you as you go through today's session. Just feel their loving presence and guidance around you, surrounding you with a beautiful violet flame of transmutation. Just feeling that taking place. And then just start feeling the rhythm of your inner truth. And just affirming to yourself, just quietly within, that you're ready to release old patterns of fear, resentment, and blame, and mainly self blame. And you're open to forgiveness, freedom, and divine peace. And then just know that your heart is a temple of grace and your soul is eternally free. Now, your Capricorn sun and your beautiful Sagittarius cusp means that you're really here to master emotional responsibility. And it's interesting because you've got to remember that freedom and joy are your birthrights. And
Yes.
of course, your life path 3 reminds you that laughter, creativity, and expression are really your medicine. All right. So we want
Yes.
to help you to return to that. And
Yes.
so what we're going to, sorry, carry on.
There was especially creativity when we were doing the little hypnosis there, if you will, or mindfulness, whatever you want to call it, hypnosis. Um, Anubis spoke to me, which was the first time because I've never connected with him, and Archangel Zadkiel, and I thought it was very important for you to know both. Do you know how in the list part of it was past lives that are connected to my agoraphobia of today? Or I should say the, because I don't want to put my, because I want to disconnect from it. Um, he told me I have significant past lives in ancient Egypt, which I have known of several of them before. But he mentioned ones that were connected with prisoner, being imprisoned, and telling me that it has an impact on today.
Yeah.
Uh, Archangel Zadkiel came through and told me the forgiveness we need to work on today is healing the forgiveness from all auric fields.
Hmm.
Now, that's interesting because there's like 7 layers of auric fields, but
Hmm.
he told me it a few times, and I was listening simultaneously to everything you were telling me, but he emphasized it multiple times. The
Hmm.
forgiveness has to be removed from all of the auric fields. So I thought that was important to share.
It is, yeah, no, that's great. And thank you for sharing that because, as we move through this process, it is very much an organic process where you will receive those intuitive, sort of tidbits, which will help us to be able to formulate the right process to go through. Um, it's interesting as well because, if you look at your life path 3, it thrives when you're expressing your emotion and your creativity through your voice. So when you silence your
Yes.
truth, your body speaks through anxiety. So it's like you're inner communicating, asking to be heard again. So that's
Yes.
what's taking place. And then, of course, with your double Capricorn sun and moon, it gives you incredible strength and discipline, but it can suppress emotion, you see. So the Leo rising is your medicine. So it invites warmth and play and visibility and joy. So we're going to be opening the
Wow.
gate between the controlled Capricorn heart and the radiant Leo. That's what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah, but even in just to learn that, knowledge is power, as they tell you.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you've got to understand all of it really to be able to see what the patterns are that are typical for your, like, not only your personality archetype, but also, your design, your soul design. So we're gonna start with
Yes.
this forgiveness of Lauren because Lauren obviously played a major part in building up sort of resentments and karmic attachments to early trauma. So you'll
Yeah.
find that by
Okay.
releasing that, um, you know, based around, your archetypes in numerology and astrology. It's going to help you get right to the core of it. So
Yeah.
I'm going to guide you
Do
through a
you
bit.
need to do, do you need to know anything about her? Like I know when her birthday is and because it's family friends, so I didn't know if that was important at all.
It isn't, no. It's more about
Okay.
the intention that we're going to set here for you to release the old resentments and karmic attachments from this early trauma. That's important. I don't
Okay.
need to tap into her energy field, but we're
That's
really
probably
just
best for you.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's
Yeah.
interesting because you're going to be actually seeing Lauren's energy as a mirror reflecting unhealed fragments of your younger self. So that's what I'm going to guide you through. So you're going to see this
Yeah.
mirror reflecting
Do
back.
I need to pick a color mirror?
Well, it's interesting because I've sort of picked out something that I feel would be a beautiful one to help you with that, and it's Anubis. So
Okay.
this magenta, this kind of like almost like a pearlescent violet magenta over magenta, the
Yeah.
Anubis vibration is going to be really beneficial for this because, as you know, like bottle number 22 in the color mirrors is deep magenta over magenta, and that's forgiveness. But Anubis
Yes.
kind of mirrors that energy quite nicely.
Very. Yes.
So I'm thinking that this is where we need to go and use the magenta ray for this particular one, if that's okay with you. And then we can
Yeah.
get you choosing bottles um, as we move through the process.
Okay.
But for this specifically, I feel like it's the magenta ray that we need to look at. So, right, what I'd
All
like you
right.
to do then is I want you to just close your eyes once again, okay? And then just taking a nice deep breath in, and then just start breathing in this deep magenta light in through your crown. And this is the energy of divine justice and soul truth that you're starting to access. You're accessing karmic memory and bringing understanding and dissolving judgments. And so I want you to visualize Lauren as a mirror, and I want her to show, she's almost like showing her younger self's, she's showing you your younger self's fear of being unseen or unvalidated, which is a core life path 3 wound around self-expression and unworthiness. So she's revealing this to you. She's presenting herself as a mirror, which is reflecting back to you now this younger self's fear of being unseen or unvalidated. So just see what she presents to you as you breathe this magenta light in and around your body and just let it spiral into your heart. Just feel the light spiraling in through your heart and transforming any of the bitterness into understanding. And
Oh,
see,
I'm getting a whole lot,
very good.
but it might not be what you suspect.
Okay, so just keep with the process for the time being and then just feeling this magenta light flowing between you and Lauren, washing away any old cords of resentment. And then just try and whisper just inwardly to yourself, I release you with love. I reclaim my peace and my voice. I release you with love. I reclaim my peace and my voice. I release you with love. I reclaim my peace and my voice. Okay. And then when you're ready, just want you to then come back into the space around you. All right, brilliant. So just share what you received when you went through that process.
I didn't mean to interrupt the process,
It's
but
okay.
it was very unexpected. What I didn't, so I saw me here and I saw her here, and all I knew from the image was, and this is not in a, but it was just simply, it is what it is. I am a lot more ascended than her. I've had numerous more past lives than her. I've had numerous more experiences than her. Her energy was here, meaning that she was behaving the way she behaved because she hasn't learned enough lessons in past lives and enough lessons in this life. When you started to the magenta in the healing and just forgive and cut the strings and let go with love, she started to move up. So it was like a healing thing for her.
Hmm.
But I noticed that her behavior towards me in the past, it was revealed that, and I never thought this before, she had her own traumas, which I already knew of, and she didn't know how to properly handle them, as most young people don't know how to do. But it came up when you were doing the little hypnosis now. She was jealous of the close relationship I had with her mum. Her mum is British, she's from Nottingham, and I love this lady, and I call her Auntie. Auntie Linda, Aunt Linda, my auntie. So that was a big reason for the rudeness and the jabs. And it was sort of like she was on this level here because of that jealousy that I had, going out to dinner and the movies all the time with them, you know, oh, she's not true family. She's not family. She's just my friend, my sister's friend. Why is she here all the time?
Hmm.
So it was like just to re under not excusing the behavior, but getting more of an understanding and being like, no, it's in the past. I release it.
That's beautiful. And that's so great that you could acknowledge, it was mainly her insecurities that were causing her behavior, but that wounded part of you, or that younger version of you, didn't understand that at the time. But I suppose,
Yeah, but I didn't even know until just now that part of it, when I connected with her energy and then we, cut ways, was her having a jealousy of because I mean, I used to be there all the time. But her sister and I were like best friends. So,
yeah.
and we were lived on the same street. So,
So
yeah.
what did your younger self need then that wasn't received in this relationship, do you think?
Oh, well, respect. That's what
Okay.
came too. You don't have to be my friend. I am one of your sister's best friends. You don't have to be mine. You are significantly younger, but just a complete lack of respect and, to be honest with you, manners as well.
Okay. So it was
You
respect
know,
and manners.
yeah, and it's interesting because I looped and looped and looped on it for many, many years, and she was a major reason why my anxiety disorder even began in the first place.
Hmm.
But now I realize doing the cut, the forgiveness, I release you with love for my own self-empowerment, for my own self-healing, is quite honestly, how do I put this into words? Sometimes it's hard to put things into words. You can just see it as images instead. Um, you understand it being older and wiser, why people behave the way they do, and quite often people don't actually have a written out agenda for being incredibly rude to you. They're just on autopilot and they're behaving in a manner that they, not to make excuses for them one more time, but they behave in such uh, an aspect that they don't even know what they're doing.
That's
And sometimes they look back on it late. Sometimes they look back on it a decade later or more and go, God, how did I? I'm so embarrassed by how I behaved.
well, they're just running on unconscious patterns, aren't they? They're totally unaware that they are.
Thank you. That's it. That's what she was doing,
Yeah.
running on unconscious patterns.
Mm. So what truth about yourself then are you reclaiming now?
What truth about myself am I reclaiming now?
Mm.
Well, I'm reclaiming the truth that other people's poor behavior
Hmm.
does not get to dictate what my emotional level is.
Good. Exactly. So well done. So it's interesting, isn't it? Because the Capricorn moon, it can hold grudges long term. And this activation, frees emotional heaviness and restores trust in yourself. So
Yeah.
that's what we're doing. That your Leo
Yeah.
rising encourages you stepping into courage and self-expression, even when confronted with difficult emotions.
Yeah.
So this is what you've got
Yeah.
working with you, which is really cool.
Yeah.
All right, brilliant. So I feel like we've dealt with that now, and you've got your realization. So we're going to move now into your secondary school wounds.
Yeah.
And
Okay. And so you feel with that I'm not gonna have an issue of like, because when I go at the end of October, I'm going up to visit. She won't be there, but her parents will mention her because she has a child now. Um, so you don't think when I'm there, my brain's gonna get grouchy about her? Probably just won't simply care.
no, because remember, healing is just about bringing understanding into the wound. So
Hmm.
now you understand it, it's gone. It's like it's only because you didn't really understand why.
Yeah.
You were feeling like that, but now you do, and
Yeah.
you've released it. So it's done. It's just a layer of your healing that you've now done. Like it
Yeah.
was to be done, and now you've done it. So it's gone.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's quick. We're working with like almost like quantum healing technology when
Yeah.
we're working with the magenta ray.
This this is yeah, this is why I like color therapy and why I like sound healing as well, if you're
Yeah.
familiar with it, and energy healing. Because when you get rid of things, it's very quick. And I've noticed one thing I'll tell you quite quickly with CBT therapy. I know Western medicine always says go to a talking counselor, but you yap on and on and on for several sessions about a problem.
hmm
And sometimes I feel like it's honestly worse instead of, releasing it with the help of sound healing instruments or hypnosis or something of the sort. Boom, we're
100%.
done.
And also just bringing in the higher intelligence of your ascended masters,
Yes,
because
that too,
yeah, they will,
as
they'll
well.
show you exactly where you need to get to very quickly in order to be able to let go. And
Yeah,
so you're absolutely right. I think we've overcomplicated it, and westernized
yeah.
healing way too much. Um,
Yeah, I don't need to yap on and on and on when we just solved the problem within about, I don't know, much more quickly than regular
It is.
CBT
And it's
counselors.
about the art of the ask as well. It's about, the way you ask a question to get to the core issue. So if you
Yes,
ask the right questions, the realizations come. You don't need to spend a whole 2-hour session working through one simple issue, that you just need to understand it by being asked the right questions. Simple.
true. Very true.
All right, so now we're going to move into your secondary school wounds. Now, this is the purpose here is to heal experiences of humiliation, exclusion, and overjudgment as well. So,
Oh,
um,
and also one more thing. Utter freaking burnout. I had to use more brain power, more intelligence, and do more work in my secondary school years than in university. And university was not, easy breezy, simple either. So it's the whole thing of exclusion
mhm,
and major snobs, but
mhm,
it's also as well an outrageous amount. Who in the world gives a teenager 5 hours of homework a night?
mhm.
It was insane. I look back, I should have just said, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. Do you go home after work and do 5 hours of work? No. I mean, as an adult, if I knew what I knew now, I would walk back in if I could rewind time and tell them, I'm sorry, I'll do 2 hours a night. Anything more than that, you have to pay me.
It's not
I'm not
healthy.
kidding you.
It's not healthy to do that because you're not going to get a
It
chance
was
to relax.
insane. Insane. You want to know why I had panic attacks when I was in high school? 5 hours of homework a night. I used to be joyful if I had like three and a half for one night. I had some nights where they would tell me, "Oh, why didn't you do the homework?" I would tell them, "Well, I'm sorry. I got home. I took a little break for half an hour and it's 11:15. I'm sleepy. I need to be up at 6:30. I'm not doing any more work." It was utterly fucking absurdity.
And
I
it
have to be
it would
honest
have
with you.
had the reverse effect because your brain can't absorb that much information. So
Yep.
if you're overwhelmed by it, you're just not going to
Oh,
get the
my
information.
school was so extremely competitive. And on top of it, there was no lunch break. You could request a lunch break, But many students didn't take a lunch break. They told you instead of taking a lunch, add on another class. It was a very, very unhealthy school system. And they honestly thought that was how people got into Yale and Princeton.
Did anyone get into Yale and Princeton from there?
Plenty, yes,
Or
yes.
did
But
they?
see, this school catered to the extremely gifted. But you know, the honest truth is that even for the extremely gifted, um, which wasn't everybody, it wasn't me when I was in school for certain, it wasn't healthy for them either. To
Hmm.
tell people, even if they are going to Yale, to do 5 hours of schoolwork a night and skip lunch is outrageously unhealthy for anybody.
Hmm. No, it's very true.
So, yeah, there was a lot of burnout there. There was a lot of panic, overwhelm, burnout, bullying, extreme cutthroat competition, and literally the mean girls. It was like being Lindsay Lohan in that mo in that school.
Oh, it sounds like an absolute nightmare. Well, look, what we
Oh,
want
it
to do,
was. It truly was.
I want you to pick a bottle from the colour mirrors to be able
Okay.
to help you with this process that we're going through now. So I'm going to share the screen with you,
Yeah,
and
so it's just a mix of dealing with snobs and being burnt out and extremely overworked.
yeah. So which bottle then is going to help you with this particular issue?
Okay, hold on. Wait, 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 wait. Go back up. Back up. All right, higher power is telling me I'm going to need two bottles. One dealing with the major snobs in the school, and two dealing with the extreme overwork, burned out situation scenario of the school. Okay,
Okay.
so I'm going to go through the mean girls part, if you will, first. The major, major snobs. And some of the guys were snobs too, but overall, the guys were much, much kinder than the girls in the school. Even though they were also from wealthy families and all that. Let's see here. 14 for the issue with this major snobs, the mean girls, all of that. So we got the bottle for that. And let me
Okay.
go back for the being extremely now I'm gonna pick a bottle for the extremely overworked 5 hours of freaking homework a night nonsense. And can you go down, please? What, wait. All right, this is very interesting. I wanted to look to the bottom just to double check, but it gave me bottle 14 for both of them.
Okay, well done. Brilliant. I'll go and grab that bottle because it's interesting. Number 14 is a karmic number. So 14 is called movement. So it's the five energy, which is your numerology, isn't it? You're the five. So this is about issues of freedom and where you felt restricted in both of them. And
Ex Yeah, because I never had any freedom. If your whole day and night and weekends, everything, it was just nonstop. Everybody's planning what you're doing at all hours of the day.
so that's interesting, isn't it? So, so if you think about, the issues that you've got with, the driving far, it's all connected with issues of freedom. And so that, not feeling free started in that environment.
I never made the connection until now,
Mm,
but it is very, very true. And even on Sundays, what was Sunday school? It was Sundays were Sunday school until I was about 15. The only break I would get was Sundays to go skiing with my dad, but that was more because he wanted to go skiing and I was always a bit nervous to go, especially after my mom fell off the ski lift. She fell off the chairlift and got severely injured. That'll
mm.
make you really want to go skiing the following weekend.
Monty, No, it's so true. It's interesting because the 14 is a
But it was.
karmic number as well. So the 14 means in a parallel life, you may have
Yeah.
had your freedom restricted, or you may have restricted someone's freedom.
Oh no, I know it's mine because I've already connected with past lives where I was a prisoner. And as we
Yeah,
heard Anubis say, that was past lives like in the 1800s, 1500s, some type of medieval time, if you will. But now in this session, now tonight, I've heard there's even been me being imprisoned in ancient Egypt. I've had several
yeah,
lifetimes in Egypt. But this is interesting though with the high school that I never realized until now. My restriction of freedom started then.
yeah,
Every single hour of my day was planned.
yeah,
Planned.
absolutely. So the purpose with the turquoise movement bottle then is you're going to use the turquoise ray now to help you to dissolve this old conditioning and restore your freedom. Okay, so that's what it's all about. Okay, so it's all tying in beautifully, isn't it? So all of it is connected. So I'm going to guide you through just a little bit of a process as well with this one too. And I just want you to close your eyes for a second, please, Megan. And once again, just taking a nice deep breath in
Right.
and then breathing out. So your life path three, you're wired to shine creatively. But obviously during your adolescence, your Saturn development years, the judgment of peers or authority figures may have repressed that light. So the lesson mirrors your
Extremely.
Capricorn need for approval, but also your Sagittarian desire to escape confinement. And so you're going to be healing old conditioning and restoring emotional openness. So I want you to just start seeing yourself now walking through the corridors of your old school. Just imagine yourself walking down those corridors, looking at the floor and the walls and the windows and the people that you're passing. And the walls kind of shimmer with the violet flame. So every memory that you have that's coming back of where you're humiliated or compared or the pressure that you felt now dissolves beautifully into the violet flame as you're walking down the corridors of your old school. And then now just allow the pale turquoise mist just rise up from beneath your feet, flowing up and through your lungs, returning your breath and your freedom, just breathing deeply into that turquoise mist. And then just say inwardly to yourself, I forgive myself for believing I wasn't enough. I forgive myself for believing I wasn't enough. I forgive myself for believing I wasn't enough. And I now stand in my radiant truth and inner authority. I now stand in my radiant truth and inner authority. I now stand in my radiant truth and inner authority. And then I want you to just to walk symbolically now through a beautiful rainbow arch right at the end of the corridor. And this is representing your full spectrum, your full expression. And then in your own time, just bringing yourself back into the space around you, just feeling that the healing is done. Okay.
Yeah, it was interesting. My secondary school was utterly gigantic because it was two towns put together for one high school. On it, quite honestly, should have been two high schools for two separate towns, but whatever. And it only had me in one section of the high school, one half of the high school, and another half for just a split second. Um, but what came up first wasn't the students. It was two teachers who both were very snobby, very funny, both women teachers, both blonde, and both women named Kelly. If that's kind of interesting. One of them, I tried to reconnect with her a few years ago. She moved to a different school district and she's still very snobby. It's just her personality. The other woman, I realized I sort of had forgiveness for because we didn't know when we were younger, even though she was very mean. And I don't mean that from an adolescent perspective. I just mean that from that's how she was perspective. She was battling cancer.
Ah.
So you have a lot more empathy for someone who has major anger issues and lashes out and is sort of like, uh, why are you behaving like this? We're kids, you know. Um, you have a lot more empathy for someone like that. She overcame it, but she was dealing with it at the time. Um, but it was interesting that those two teachers came up and the science teacher that science teacher who is just extremely snobby, um, always snapped back at you, was not open-minded whatsoever, very, very, closed. That she came up in the healing first before the
Mhm.
students. I was actually quite astonished by that. I thought it would have been all the snobby students. When you showed me the rainbow in the arc, it was right over the part of the school where you had a major set of stairs. Let me tell you, these were the stairs that you did not want to miss one step, or you probably would like it was a gigantic flight of stairs to go down. When you got your leg day was running those stairs to get up to the classes in time. Oh my gosh. But the rainbow was right over just before those stairs go down, and I smiled because guess what is the bottom of those stairs and around the corner was music class. And that was my one happy place to go. I loved, 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 loved going to music class. Best teachers in the whole school, and I cannot on maybe one or two snobs in the whole music section, but you were never seated near them. You never cared because your mind was on counting the beat.
It's so interesting, isn't it? Because it really ties into your three in numerology. You know, the threes
Really?
often hide their voice to avoid ridicule. So music
Yeah.
is a great way of expression, and the
I love
activation
that.
is all about the throat chakra. You know, this beautiful
Yeah.
turquoise is about expressing your heartfelt truth into it.
Hmm.
You know, it's authentic expression flowing again. That's what this is
Yeah.
all about. So the music room analogy is really actually very accurate, isn't it?
If I didn't have, I had the option to go to a Catholic high school or Catholic secondary school when I was younger, and if I could go back in time, I would have switched. The reason I didn't, and I put up with the cutthroat competition and all the extreme snobbiness, was because it was one of the best music programs in the entire country.
Mm,
Our music teachers were a beyond a 10 out of 10,
mm,
and that was the only reason I stayed. So that'll show you, and that makes a whole lot of sense. I had no idea that my life path number is connected so deeply to music, and I feel music extremely, extremely deeply. Other people, they hear a song, they go, oh, it's a great song. But the only other person I have met in my life is Manny, who can hear a song and it actually can change their whole world or completely, deeply, deeply impact them.
mm. Well, it will do for you because the three is the music and the five is the feeling. The five is the
Yeah,
center of the emotional plane. So you will feel
yeah.
music exceptionally deeply. And it's interesting because your Capricorn sun and your moon, you know, you often internalize judgment. And, you know, this
Yeah.
whole activation kind of helps you to release perfectionism and I must perform mentality, you know,
And,
which was
and yeah, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but that was one thing that was so healing. And why I love how it's so quick, it was so healing because of the fact that when you said, now you go back in without any self-judgment. And I went back down the corridor in the left part of the secondary school, and I went into the cafeteria and I walked in differently, like, I don't give a fuck if you like me or not. I am here for me. And I saw myself also I did see myself in the auditorium in the right half of the school, which is close to the left half. It's the music auditorium section. Well, no, excuse me. It's the front foyer to where the music auditorium and the music classrooms are. But when you're doing the mindfulness or the hypnosis with me, I saw we were all dressed up ready for a performance that night, and there was a whole bunch of people there, parents there, teachers, students. But I didn't feel like when I turned to the cool crowd or the highly, highly gifted crowd, I didn't feel like, oh, I wish I could be one of them. It was just total no self-judgment, total self-acceptance, total of they're over there, I'm over here, and not everybody's going to get along with me. I'm not going to be like everybody else. It was just like, and I felt taller.
Hmm. That's great. That's really good because, that kind of plays into this beautiful Leo rising that you've got as well, which is about encouraging and reclaiming visible joy and self-expression despite past
Yeah.
criticism.
Yeah. Yeah, precisely. It was sort of like I quite honestly really don't care. Um, you go live in your own little world if you want to behave like that and yeah. Yes, very healing.
Great. Okay, so we're
Yeah.
going to move into the next section now, which is about the past life agoraphobia patterns. All right. So the intention behind this is to clear karmic imprints of persecution, confinement, and fear of exposure. And so,
Yes.
as a Capricorn 3, your soul carries lifetimes of being the responsible one, often punished for speaking your truth or stepping outside of boundaries. So, agoraphobia can actually represent an oversoul memory of danger beyond the safe zone. So, here I want you to pick another bottle, which is going to help you to move beyond this kind of oversoul memory of danger beyond your safe zone. Okay.
Okay.
I'll share the screen with you again. Does that make sense?
Yeah, just say it one more time because God is telling me, Megan, don't talk too much. Let Hayden do the talking and go very quickly. Less thinking, more boom, 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 like this.
Good. Okay. So, as I
Right.
mentioned, your soul carries lifetimes of being the responsible one, often
Mhm.
punished for speaking your truth or stepping outside of boundaries. So, agoraphobia can reflect an oversoul memory of danger beyond your safe zone. So, what we're looking at is you choosing a bottle for soul retrieval and emotional integration so that you can move beyond this oversoul memory of you feeling danger is there beyond your safe zone, which we've
Okay.
seen, um,
Yeah.
and that's tied into your Capricorn 3. That's what it's
Okay.
all about. So you're going to
Yeah.
pick a bottle that's going to help you move um, beyond that. All right. So I'll share the
Okay.
screen
Yes.
with you again.
I'm being told this is coming up from my subconscious, so I'm being told don't even put much thought into the bottle. Let it come up from the subconscious.
Okay, good.
Okay. No, no, no. If you go down, please. Thank you. Interesting. Okay, so this is interesting. I always like to double check. It told me bottle number 10 is the answer to it, but if we have time, look into bottle 47. I find that interesting because I believe they're both orange.
Gold.
Gold.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really interesting. So there's definitely something going on with gold. So number 10, bottle number 10 to answer your question, but just to reiterate, It told me you don't need to reiterate. So bottle number 10, bottle number 47 is not as number 47 is not needed as much as bottle 10.
Okay, so there are your two bottles there. The Wheel of Fortune, and this is the Wisdom bottle,
Oh,
the evolved solar plexus chakra. So it's about power. It's about your personal power and stepping into authentic power. And leadership. So that's what so the gold vibration is all about valuing and wisdom. So it's about you valuing yourself. It's about wisdom and it's authentic power. So
should
it's
I be? I mean, I still have to wear coral from, the expansion and we talked about in the other sessions, but should I wear something that has some gold in it as well?
Well, yeah, because I mean, we've worked a lot on your yellow energy over the past sessions, because a lot of this has been about you reclaiming your sovereignty, so this is
Yes.
about you being the pioneer. It's about sovereignty. And of course, this is a huge part of this. Remember, the Leo rising in you is the leader. So the Leos,
Hmm.
like Librans, are leaders. And of course, that's rising. That's who you're becoming. So of course,
Yeah.
you're going to get your golden vibration, which is coming up, guiding you into becoming that fullest expression of yourself, where you can feel more joy. So, as you evolve, you're going to be moving more into Leo and moving away from Capricorn. It's just what's going to take place for you. So, um, we're gonna use the golden ray, energy, and that's also, this is the Isis vibration as well. So the Egyptian goddess Isis who gave birth to the sun, and so there's that soft feminine leadership vibrations where
Hmm.
love and power come together actually. So the olive is love and the gold is authentic power. So it's when you bring those two elements together, it helps you to step more into your authenticity and claim your role as the leader and the pioneer because it's ultimately about value. So it's a lot of the sun god stuff coming in here as well, I think. All right.
All right.
So what we'll do then is I'm going to guide you through this process now of releasing the oversoul memory of danger beyond your safe zone. So in your own time, I just want you to close your eyes. So this is a form of soul retrieval and emotional integration. And I just want you to once again just allow the beautiful magenta flame just to spiral through time and space and see the gold energy coming in now too as well. Just see it seeking every lifetime where your voice, your movement, or your freedom was restricted. Every lifetime. So we're going through every layer of your oversoul here. And Archangel Zavkiel is coming in now just to help and assist with this as well. Just seeing, just seek out every lifetime where your voice, your movement, or your freedom was restricted. Every single one of them, all of them. Your Egyptian ones, the ones where you were incarcerated. See them all coming back, almost like you're flicking through cards in a deck of cards, and each card represents another lifetime where your voice, your movement, or your freedom was restricted. So feel the beautiful warmth of Zafkiel's wings gathering those fragments of your soul and bringing them back into your heart. Just feel his wings gathering them together, all of those fragments, bringing them all back into your heart, all of them back into your heart, just feeling it going into your heart, into your heart. Feeling the golden energy expanding in all directions, feeling that truth. And now whisper to yourself silently, it is safe to be seen. It is safe to be seen. It is safe to be seen. It is safe to move freely. It is safe to move freely. It is safe to move freely. It is safe to live. It is safe to live. It is safe to live. And now just anchoring your energy by placing your hand over your solar plexus now. So place both hands over your solar plexus, beaming the golden light into your solar plexus, your Capricorn rule structure and the skeletal system, the framework of your body. Visualize golden light and magenta light stabilizing your nervous system, allowing safety in expansion. Allowing safety in expansion. Allowing safety in expansion. Your Sagittarius cusp energy longs to explore beyond borders. This healing releases the ancestral fear of visibility so that you can live in your 5 vibration, your Andromedan starseed origins of freedom through trust. Freedom through trust. Freedom through trust. Your cosmic design reveals a soul mastering the balance between discipline and freedom, responsibility and adventure, and the logic and trust in divine timing. These final 2 activations are anchoring and healing the physical body and restoring your faith in higher guidance. Restoring your faith in higher guidance. And in your own time, just bringing yourself back into the space around you. Okay, how did you go?
I have to tell you everything now so that it's recorded in the session. So when it comes to the past lives that had about restriction, it was everything from being imprisoned to being a peasant and not having any freedom because you had to do what the Lord of the Manor told you, to being a woman, in discriminatory ancient times, and when it showed me the amount of past lives where there's been restriction, it was an outrageous amount, way more than I even knew. Archangel Zadkiel came in and started helping, and he was pulling them off like little pins. That's how they came off, not like a deck of cards, but like little pins. Utterly incredible. Ancient Egypt came up, ancient Rome came up, medieval times in Europe, not 1800s, but more of like 1500s, 1600s. 382 came up, which is interesting because I know that date or a very similar year came up in a prior session with you. But even interesting, more modern times came up. Like early 1900s. I wasn't expecting that. Early 1900s of being a girl, being a woman, and you can't study science. That's a man's job type of deal came up. And also, and this has come up previously with Suzy Wu, being discriminated for being a healer, which in olden days would have been considered a witch in witchcraft.
Mm-hmm.
So it came up to me of, you have Wicca books at home.
Yep.
Don't be afraid to explore them. Don't have that judgment, you know, you can still believe in God, you can still believe in Christ, but you can also understand the beauty, the love and the wisdom of Wicca. And that came up as well, a previous past life or past lives of, being accused of witchcraft and most likely executed.
Hmm.
Um, but not every past life was being female. Some of them were, being a woman. Some of them were being a man. The one in ancient Rome, which I've connected to that past life previously on my own through a past life holistic book that I own. Um, just you toil the soil in this hot sun, hot Umbrian or Tuscan or Roman, whatever sun, until you basically drop dead and you live a life of peasantry, if peasantry is a word. But yeah, so a lot of that now is just released. In the modern time, what came up for me, a lot of that was just the freedom. And when Archangel Zadkiel grabbed the shards of those lives and brought them into my heart, I felt like the people, which is me, were being told it's okay now. It's perfectly all right. And you now get to actually enjoy the freedom, even though some of them have waited thousands of years. Um, but it brought me major smiling because I didn't control anything. I just sort of, because you can't do that or the session won't, our appointment won't work. It brought me to modern times and it showed me my freedom of now in this present life. And it showed me two things. Um, myself being driving comfortably by myself. What blew my mind was in Amherst. Now, Amherst is clear the other side of the county and it's incredibly crowded. And I first thought, I'm going to be driving in heavy duty traffic where there's four lanes in this direction and four lanes in that direction, and or maybe not that many, but there's a whole ton, and there's tons and tons of shopping and plazas, and it's crazy, crazy, insanely chaotic up there. I was just there earlier today with my dad. And it told me, yeah, you're gonna be totally all right to even be in such a really crazy area like that, and you'll handle it perfectly well. But it also told me getting out of East Aurora, Alma is not necessarily have to be about being in a very chaotic area crowded with people. And it showed me parks. It showed me parks an hour away from here. It showed me Letchworth State Park. Google Letchworth State Park after our appointment. You will not be disappointed. Um, but it just showed me like it's going possibly to Chestnut Ridge Park. It's another gorgeous park, which is about half an hour from here. Um, but a cute name, Chestnut. But yeah, that just yeah, Chestnut Ridge Park. That came up. Just a freedom of just being calm, driving by myself, being totally cool, calm, collected, being out of the area. Then it did show me driving and also taking the train and going places with Manny, being with my friend. Even though I've only told him 10 million times, he should probably do several sessions with Hayden because it would do him well. Um, Maybe someday he will. But it did show me doing fun things with him. And it showed me us down in downtown Buffalo going to a play at Shays. This just came up. Going to the play downtown Buffalo. It showed us taking a train and going to an entirely different part of New York State to a small little town in the mountains called Lake Placid, which is probably 7 hours away from me. It's way up in the very north of New York State, almost to Vermont. So you're talking 6 to 7 hours away. It showed us in Toronto. It showed us in Pittsburgh. And I think one other place that was sort of around here, but still out of my comfort zone, like Lancaster, which is just slightly, not slightly, it's a bit more out of my comfort zone, but it's not as far as the city, not as far as Buffalo. But it showed me crossing the border and me not freaking out of, oh, we gotta cross the border and we gotta wait through the bridge and they gotta check our passports. It was just me totally calm and cool and collected. Um, but the one with Canada showed his friend and his new roommate Quan, and it was the three of us. And Quan was driving, and Maddie was passenger, and I was in the back seat. But I was totally calm. Like we'll get through it. We all have our passports.
Brilliant. It's not, is his new flatmate Kuan Yin?
It's really funny because I think I've teased Quan about that before. His new flatmate is, oh my gosh, he is so calm, cool, and collected. He's perfectly what Manny needs.
That's good.
But I'm serious. I have told him about you multiple times, and I have told him you need to book with Hayden. But you know how that goes.
Yeah, you can't tell people, you can't, you just got to let them get there in their own way. Um,
Yeah.
okay, so
I
that's
speak your
brilliant then.
praises.
So there was a lot of
Yeah.
information that you received from
Yeah.
that, a lot.
Yeah.
So you can
Past
see,
life and present.
yeah, that's wonderful.
But it was interesting though that it wasn't how it came up showing both freedom, my own me doing things on my own, but then doing things with my friend, and it just sort of chose for me
Hmm.
Lancaster, downtown Buffalo, but even like downtown Buffalo, it chose very specifically you are going to a play at Shays. You're not going kayaking, you're not going to a dance club, you're not going to a hockey game, you're not going to the shops, you're going to a play at Shays. Very, very specific. And even cities, I mean, Pittsburgh, Toronto, very specific.
Very specific, yeah. So
It could have picked Boston, it could have picked Washington, D.C., and it picked Pittsburgh and Toronto.
so that's wonderful. It's almost like, the fear that you were holding must have blocked your ability to manifest your personal power. So releasing it actually reconnects you to your creative expression and your leadership, you see, which is what you
Yeah.
want. So
Yeah.
the if you think about your Capricorn energy, right, that holds control. And the activation that you've just done, what it does, it helps to free these rigid structures and that limit your exploration.
Yeah.
And then the Leo rising, it brings courage and visible self-expression as a remedy for agoraphobia and self-doubt.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's also interesting, all those past lives. It was just tons and tons and tons that had to
Yeah,
be
the will be.
healed.
When you're an old soul, Megan, like you would have done pretty much all of it. You'd have played out all the avatars. You'd have got your virtual reality headset on, and you would have gone, right, I want to do that, 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 that. But of course, over these lifetimes, if none of it's been cleared, you've been born as Megan, and you're like hell's bells. If I go outside of my comfort zone, then I'm going to be dead, sort
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah, but it's not true.
It's not true. It's not true. So you've let go of that, which is wonderful. So we want to look now at numerology, health, and travel.
Yes.
You were talking about that as well. So the focus here is to reconnect to the freedom frequency, which is your five, while stabilizing your body's temple, which is your Capricorn. So your life path three rules your throat chakra and your nervous system. So it's communication, creativity, and self-expression, which directly influence your health. So when you hold your truth back, your energy stagnates in your chest and your gut, and it manifests as anxiety.
Oh
All
my
right.
gosh, that's so accurate.
Yeah, it's who you are. So your day 23 5 brings a natural wanderlust, a need for movement, new experiences, and sensory freedom. But when fear or control takes over, this energy can turn into nervousness and restlessness. So the lesson is that freedom is through grounded expansion. Does that make sense?
It does.
So really we're looking at pale blue and pale pink energies together here to bring balance between your masculine logic and your feminine intuition.
Oh my gosh. This is very interesting because I have been, I'm working on breaking OCD compulsions, some days better than others. I have been obsessed with walking to the left of everything. There has to be a reason for it. Now that you mentioned the blue and the pink, I will literally see a leaf or a twig on the ground and I'll go, it really doesn't quite matter. Nope. I'm like, my body will go all the way out of its way to walk on the left side of the leaf. Some days I don't give a toss, and other days I'm like, I came out of the grocery store and I did that, right? And I said, I'm going to totally ignore this. Then my heart's like, boom, 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 boom. I said, fine, we're not ignoring it because I'm not dealing with it. And I told myself, do you realize how batty you look to other people going in and out of the grocery store tonight? They're probably like, what in the blazes is this woman doing walking on the left side of a leaf? Like, why is she walking crooked and she's not walking straight to her car? There's gotta be a reason why I'm obsessed with the left. Now, give me one moment because I need to know if something else is ego or OCD. So I just had an OCD symptom right now, and we're going to ignore the compulsion. Just before you told me about the new bottle to pick, it told me, tell Hayden to change his shirt color. I said, why? It's a lovely deep blue. I don't want it anymore. It needs a new shirt color. Hayden needs to go to his bedroom and put on something else. I said, oh, which color? It said, how about red or purple? I don't want that color anymore. And it said, if Hayden changes his shirt color, it'll teach you something new. And I asked it, what is it Hayden's new red shirt color if he goes and changes in his washroom or his bedroom going to do? So then I asked, wait a second, is this higher power or is this ego? And it replied, this is OCD.
OCD, yeah. It's interesting because I
Yeah,
nearly
see,
put a red
sometimes you have
t-shirt
to
on.
ask.
I did actually nearly
Yeah.
put a red t-shirt on this morning. I actually
Oh,
had it. I had it in my on my hanger, and then I looked at it and I went, yeah, and I put it back.
but isn't that hilarious? So ego or OCD knew something that had to do with the red shirt.
Mm.
So maybe ego wanted to make that connection with you now. But sometimes ego likes to pretend it's higher power, but you start to learn discernment and to know what is God, what is higher self, and
Yeah,
what is ego.
you do.
Um, so ego, what was the point with
Well, we were talking about the
yeah.
left-hand side. So we were talking about the blue, the masculine logic and the feminine intuition with regards to this blue and pink, which really is, red and blue, isn't it? So we're talking
Yeah.
about those two things. So what's taking place here is almost like there is this, we're trying to bring this balance back into those two
Well,
realms.
for one time, I'm actually going to give ego credit. There is once in a blue moon, ego does tell me something very smart. Usually it just tells me something incredibly dumb, and I have to tell it, like, no, you're not in control. Reason he wanted to do the red shirt is related to root chakra, and he thought about working on doing a very deep healing with you on anything connected to the root chakra. I told him maybe another session, but we sort of already done a whole lot of that.
We have, and I think that we'll follow this process and maybe that will come up during this process. So we'll just see what takes place
But if
because
it doesn't, it's perfectly all right. I have the list from God, from higher self, from subconsciousness, all of that, of the 6 things to work on tonight. And your blue shirt, by the way, it looks lovely and it can most definitely stay on.
yes, exactly. Because
I felt like we just wasted 5 minutes.
I'm not gonna go and get changed.
I honestly felt like we just wasted 5 minutes there knowing the ego, but it was sort of very random. Like
No,
anybody.
but it's still relevant because we are talking about pink, which is just amplified red, and blue. So we are talking about red and blue. But also, in this process, I want to bring in Archangel Sandalphon because he is the grounding light.
And he's
Um,
And he's the archangel of music too.
Yeah, exactly. So it's about anchoring your cosmic light into your physical body for health and for your uh, safe travel as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I want you to do then is I want you to close your eyes once again. All right. And I want you to just take a nice deep breath in and breathing out. And then just visualize a very beautiful, soft blue light wrapping around your throat and your chest, soothing all the overthinking and all of the self-criticism. This beautiful, soft blue light soothing away all of that overthinking and self-criticism. And then just let this very soft pink or red light spiral down through your belly, bringing warmth and safety into your solar plexus. Just feel that going right into your solar plexus, bringing all that warmth and safety right into your solar plexus now. And just feel your body as a temple of light, strong and grounded and free. Just feel that in your body now. Strong, grounded, free. Say, my body is a sacred vessel that safely carries my spirit wherever I'm guided to go. My body is a sacred vessel that safely carries my spirit wherever I am guided to go. My body is a sacred vessel that safely carries my spirit wherever I am guided to go. I want you to see yourself traveling, walking through an airport, boarding a train, or simply stepping outside, surrounded by a sphere of magenta light. Wherever you go, this sphere of magenta light goes with you, and this activates your travel freedom code, reminding you that you're never alone. Your oversoul travels with you. You're never alone. Your oversoul travels with you. And then in your own time, just bringing yourself back into the space around you. To the room around you. Just knowing this travel freedom code.
So if you're wondering why I was doing this at the end, it was because I imagined the train station and it was in magenta. I
Mhm.
saw the outside magenta, the train station. I put the two together. But as you had me come back in the room, the magenta in the train station went and shrunk itself. It went very tiny. And I didn't like that. So I tried to stretch it back out. Then it shrunk itself. And I stretched it back out. I had to like force it to stay magenta in the train station. Um, and I was trying to also imagine more. I saw one train station, but I was trying to imagine more train stations as well. Um, so yeah, that just explaining that.
Okay, good. So if we look at the numerology tie-in of that, your three plus your five equals eight, which is mastery of energy flowing and manifestation. So when you align your body, your mind, and your spirit, you become magnetic to synchronicity and vitality. And of course, your Capricorn rules your bones and your structure, which reminds
Mhm.
you that travel and movement strengthen your structure when you trust your footing. All right.
Yes. Oh, speaking of footing, can you tell me the symbology behind this? You know how I told you that um the whole moving to the left of the twig and all this other
Yeah.
silliness. And I'll go, Why am I doing this? This is silly." When you were just doing the healing. it had me step first with my right foot instead of my left and was very, very adamant of stepping first with my right foot. And as I was moving forward and didn't give a toss, you don't need to move to the left of something. You don't need to move to the right of something. You just need to move straight ahead. So, what was the symbology significance there of moving straight ahead, not caring if I'm on the left side of a twig or not, but also what was the symbology of the fact the right foot stepped forward first?
It's like putting your right foot forward.
Uh,
So the right foot forward is by going straight down. So that's an integration. That's showing you there's an integration that's take place between the blue and the pink. So it's going straight.
okay.
The right foot is going straight in between the two. You don't need to go left or right because you've now integrated, you see.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
think about this is all about, trusting that travel and movement strengthen your structure when you trust your footing. So it's
yeah.
about you trusting your footing, but this is also
Mhm.
about the Sagittarian aspect of you, which is governs long distance travel and philosophy. So when you follow joy, your health naturally improves. Okay.
Yes.
So that's why your dominant intention really needs to be about looking for things that bring you joy. And
Oh, that's quite interesting because I do have to show you I spoiled myself today and this evening. And speaking of joy, I've been looking at this for about a fortnight, and I finally went and bought it today. It's a
ah,
graphic novel. It's somebody, I think they're from France. They have a French name, but this bloke or whoever, this person, they lived in Tokyo. So they made a graphic novel of every single neighborhood in Tokyo and teach you about the different subcultures and food and restaurants, everything. I haven't even opened it yet. I'm so excited to look at it.
that's beautiful. Are you going to go
So,
to Tokyo?
yes, it's on my list. And I'm just saying yes.
Wonderful.
Right there. It was also interesting when you did the just did a little uh, mindful hypnosis. What do you call it?
Activation.
Activation. That's a better word. I knew those weren't the correct words to use. When you just did the activation there, it told me be careful because sometimes what other people are doing, you're putting it on you. And it brought up my mom and it brought up Manny. And it mentioned sometimes I don't know how to explain it. I'm being told because you don't need to explain it. Just be careful that you're not internalizing what they need to do for themselves.
Yeah,
So that was interesting and that came up. And that's not coming from a place of maliciousness because they both love me, they both care about me, but they both can sometimes try to thwart their own issues onto me.
that's
So
100% right. So it's using your discernment to know what's yours and what's theirs.
perfectly executed, perfectly um told.
Okay,
Yes.
so
So
what new adventures does your soul long to experience once you feel safe in your body again?
what new adventures does my soul want to experience once I feel safe in my body again?
Yeah, is it Tokyo,
Oh, Asia.
Asia?
Asia. Yeah, I am big on wanting to go to Asia. Very, very much so. I mean, there's other places I want to go. I want to go to Asia. I want to go to Peru. I want to go to, um, I definitely want to go back to certain parts of Europe I've already been to. I lived in Finland, so that would be a big thing for me. But I also want to go to Britain. Like, I want to go to Wales, England, Scotland. I do want to go back to France. I want to go to Romania. I want to go to Bulgaria. I want to go to parts of Europe people don't go to. They don't go to Bulgaria and Romania, but I do want to go there. Um, for some reason, Peru was never on my major list, but I was doing a sound therapy session and it came through to me that connect with the shamans of Peru, go to Peru. You will learn an immense amount. You are meant to go at some point in my life to Peru. So that was always very interesting to me. Yeah, and one more time, Asia, I have to tell you, is something's coming up very deeply because I know we still have some time for me to pick two of the, what did it call? Dragon bottles?
Yeah.
Yes, and to do just to end the session with a deep dive into the two dragon bottles.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've still got the trust issues. What are you doing wrong, you asked. What are you doing wrong? So
Oh,
we'll get you to
yes.
pick some dragon bottles in this section. Because
Okay,
we
sure.
still want to focus on completing all of the things that you wanted me to cover
You know,
today.
it's so funny. I thought we did that already, and I was like, maybe it's just because it's late at night. I said, may perhaps I'm sleepier than I thought. It'll be on the recording, but no, we haven't even gotten to it yet.
No.
Okay.
So we'll use the dragon bottles to be able to decipher that. So you're
Is
obviously
that
just
all right to
jumping.
do?
Yeah, 100%. So, this section really is about dissolving self-doubt, shame, and perfectionism. So, it's integrating lessons of divine trust. So, the final activation brings all of the previous ones together. So, forgiveness, release, and self-belief. So, as a Capricorn 3, you often overanalyze your progress. Sometimes you feel you must earn your healing through hard work, but your true mastery lies in learning to trust the process and to let go of control, the path from Saturn's rigidity to Jupiter's faith. All right. So this is where it's really about inviting you to intuitively select from the dragon bottles, and then we will use those vibrations into the final activation. All right. So I'm going to ask you then to. You can see the bottles there behind me on the.
Yes.
So all of these bottles, I want you to kind of just look at these energies, and you may or may not pick out a dragon, but I want you to choose three bottles from the bottom shelf that you want to work with today that's going to help you with this final activation.
Okay. Bottle number 7 from the left-hand side where you are.
This one?
Yes.
Okay.
Go to the green section and pick the darkest green color. Yes.
Okay.
The deep purple one after those really clear blue ones. Yes.
Okay.
Now I picked those bottles based on freedom and trust. Is that all right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is. And
It's
I think,
interesting when it's interesting when you mentioned letting go of control. My mind went because my mind is like, well, what if the bus driver doesn't come? What if the train doesn't come on time? What if you oversleep and miss the alarm? What if they don't show up? Do you see the point here?
yeah,
And I think it's safe to have an itinerary, but
that's exactly it. But to let go of full control, because
yeah.
it's moving from into back into faith. And it's interesting because you actually didn't choose any of the dragons at all there. So obviously you didn't need the dragons. You actually chose an archangel and two angels. That's what you chose.
Inter
Yeah.
interesting.
So the first one you chose was this one here, which is the coral angel.
Yeah. What is that? What do they smell like? What are their aromas?
Oh, this is the coral angel smells like it's almost like um uh ylang ylang with peaches. Beautiful.
Oh. No, if you spritz it, even though obviously I can't smell it from New York to Australia,
Yeah.
in Western Australia that, but will that energy
Yeah.
connect to me?
There you go. See if you can breathe that in and smell it.
I can.
You
I
can.
can. It has a sweetness to it, but it's not overpowering because of the lang lang.
It is. It is very sweet, but not
But wait, how in the
overpowering.
heck, and you're on the other side of the world, could I smell that?
Well, it happens all the time, so often we use the essences in sessions and people smell them like all the time. Because it's an energetic vibration that
That's
you're,
incredible.
it's beautiful, isn't
I
it?
can, I can smell it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
Well,
this,
maybe that's why God was also telling me go for the bottles on the bottom because I'm getting an energetic healing of, it's interesting. I'm getting the words just be after you spritzed it.
just
Just be.
be,
What is just be meant to mean? Just be.
just be. It's almost like giving yourself permission, and it's moving away from perfectionism, isn't it? And self-doubt. It's like going, you can just be in this moment at this time. You don't need to control any of it. You can just be, and that's enough. And the coral angel is it's a beautiful remedy for acceptance, full acceptance. So just be is like acceptance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. I
the
like spritzing these.
this one is Ezekiel. So you chose um this is my bottle actually. So it's
Oh,
beautiful deep um turquoise with gold. Can you see like the golden shimmer going through it?
oh yeah, it's spectacular.
Isn't it
It
beautiful?
truly is. Yeah, I
And
really it's Ezekiel?
Ezekiel,
Oh,
yeah. So
Ezekiel with an E.
yeah, so have you heard of Ezekiel's wheel?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's part of the foundation of the Oversoul Codex cards that I created and the community, because it brings together the wisdom of Ezekiel's wheel and the Oversoul, and it brings together the wisdom of sacred geometry and
Yeah.
the multiverse as well, the gyroscopic multiverse. So it's a way of kind of Ezekiel helps us to fully anchor our multidimensional light onto the planet. And he's actually the archangel of numerology as well, believe it or not.
That's interesting. It's very interesting, but it makes a lot of sense because he has a wheel.
Hmm.
And do you mind spritzing that one too? I'm
Yeah,
like really into spritzing all three, if it's all right with you.
yeah. So this one here, and tell me what you think it smells like.
All right. I got more of a masculine type of smell.
Hmm.
A woodsy, like I almost taste like pine and
Hmm.
spruce on my tongue. But I'm also tasting like it's funny. I'm tasting a bit of mint, but a bit of mushroom
It
as
is.
well.
It is earthly tones. It's mossy sort of tones.
I got
Um,
spruce, I got mushroom, but I got a little bit of mint.
hmm. Yeah, it's got all of those things in it. It's it's a very masculine. It's almost quite musky. Yeah,
Yeah, I was like, this is not something that I would be putting on. It's something you as a guy would be wearing.
yeah. Oh, it's
Yeah,
100% masculine energy. Yeah.
very. And that's another thing that I got. It gave me an image of a hunter in a forest,
Hmm.
like with an arc, like an
Yeah.
old hunter, not an arc, a bow and arrow.
Well, you should research Ezekiel because his story is quite interesting. He's represented by four elements. You've got the ox, the eagle, the lion, and I can't remember what the fourth one is, but um, his story is quite interesting. He's from biblical times.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
But you
I
see,
know he's extremely important to the Jews, to Jewish people. He's outrageously important. He's like a predominant figure in every aspect of their life. I'm well aware of that. So,
yeah, and it came through to step forward as my he became my soul spirit guide. My uh, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, because my old guide stepped away, my spirit guide stepped away, and Ezekiel came in, and it was actually on my birthday, believe it or not, and it was 2 years ago, 2 years ago today that he came
interesting.
through. Yeah, I was out on a
Extremely
walk.
interesting. Now,
Um,
don't you find it interesting that he came through 2 years ago on your birthday? Today is your birthday, and you happen to be doing a session with a client who chose that bottle.
Yeah. And this is really about deeper levels of trust as well,
Mhm.
because the turquoise ray, and it's got the gold in there as well, which is that authentic power. So it's about trust and authentic power. The interesting thing is as well, because the bottles that I had suggested for this part of your journey, this activation was an orange, one of the orange bottles, which is very close to coral, and it's
Yeah.
for inner child healing and shock release. But the coral angel is very, very good for the healing the trauma of the wounded aspects of the inner child as well.
Yeah.
And the other one that I'd chosen was New Beginnings, which is turquoise and yellow, and it's about surrender and renewal. So this vibration carries the essence of surrender and renewal as well. So that's interesting.
Wow.
And then the third
Extremely.
one that you chose was the Lilac Angel, and I'd chosen Archangel Zadkiel for you
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
the last one. So that's violet.
That bottle is utterly gorgeous.
So you chose the
But so is
three
the green.
dominant
Yeah.
color vibrations that are needed for this activation intuitively. And this one is about surrender. Sorry, it's about mercy and mental peace.
But it's interesting when you said mercy, it was for myself, came up as for myself.
Yeah.
Now, the lilac, you haven't even sprayed it yet, but yet I'm getting a scent of sweetness, e- almost like flowery, of course, but also plums,
Mhm.
a fruit, definitely flowery. But like already previously mentioned fruity as well.
Fruity. Yeah, it's fruity and flowery. Yeah, it's got both of those in it. So it's very, it's
Am I
got,
correct on the plum or
yeah, it's
'cause
got,
I'm not getting like mangoes or anything like that. I'm getting very like plum, even like a sugar plum.
it's very sweet. It's very sweet. But it's also got that underlying lavender sort of scent running through it as well.
Yeah, the flowery lavender.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely now this is interesting. It's not coming across to me as being primarily feminine, but it's coming across to me as something that would be worn either by girls, not necessarily, telling me no. Someone who's just in touch with their feminine side, who empowers their femininity, regardless of what their actual, like, um, outer self is, but
Yeah.
that it can be worn by anybody.
It can be. Yeah. So a lot of people, it's a very unisex essence, it is. Yeah. A lot of
Yeah.
men love that. It's very good for people that have been through any form of grief or they want to connect to spirit as well. Or people that have been through depression will go for the lilac angel. A lot of people that
Now,
have
for
been
me,
isolated
it came up as connect to spirit for the
connect to
reason.
spirit. Yeah. But in your case, for this, it's about mercy and mental
Yeah.
peace.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Mercy and mental peace. So I'd like you then, obviously, like you can look at the three colors together, and these are the three colors that I want you to imagine as we're moving through this final activation. All right. So you've got the three colors together.
Hmm.
All right. So these are your dominant colors. These are your sort of final integration colors today. And I want you to close your eyes and then just see yourself standing, first of all, in a beautiful field of white light. So white stretching out in front of you, behind you, above you, and below you. And you're just immersed in this white light. Even if you look down at your body, you're dressed in a white flowing dress. You've got white angel wings, whatever you see, you're white in all directions. And then before you now is a mirror. And this mirror is showing you every version of you that believed she had to be perfect, she had to fix herself, or she had to earn love. So you can see every version of yourself in this mirror that believed all of those things. And now step forward and place your hand on the mirror and watch it dissolve into light, completely dissolving. And say, I am not broken.
I am not broken.
I am becoming.
I am becoming.
I trust my journey,
I trust my journey,
my timing,
my timing,
and my divine design.
and my divine design.
And then just imagine the coral ray, the turquoise ray, and the lilac ray interweaving and connecting your heart to your oversoul, your higher self guiding each step, even when you cannot see the full picture, guiding you step by step, connecting your heart to your oversoul. And then in your own time, just bringing yourself back into the space around you. There you go.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
When the rays were coming in, they first all blended together and went into my heart chakra space. But afterwards, they separated. And the green, I know it's turquoise and gold, but it looks very deep green. It kept going into my heart chakra region. The gold bottle was going in my crown chakra and up my arm, so the upper body, right? Well, the whole, not just crown, but the whole head region and the arms. And the lilac bottle or light purple, whatever, the light purple bottle was my lower extremities, my legs, the whole bottom half of my body. So I think you already know I'm going to ask why.
Why did
Why
they
were
choose to
they
go?
in those body sections?
Well, interesting that the lilac chose to go into the base area, so it's almost like grounding the spirit, isn't it? Anchoring
Yeah,
the
and
spirit.
it was going through the crown chakra, so I mean that sort of makes sense. Oh no, 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 I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The gold was going through the crown chakra and the arms. The light purple was going through the legs,
Hmm.
and the turquoise gold green was going through the heart chakra.
Mm.
Yeah.
So the turquoise, the deep turquoise going into the heart is that almost like bringing the faith back into the heart. It's bringing the truth back. It's almost found its natural resonance,
Yeah.
and the gold that was going into the top part of your body was just a remembrance, really, of your um, Christed light, you know. So
Yeah.
it feels like through that process there was some almost like grounding your spirit into the physical body
Yeah.
again to help you feel
When the,
safe. To help your
yeah.
spirit feel safe in your human body.
Oh, well, that makes a lot of sense. And I think subconsciously already knew that was the answer, but it seems like my conscious mind needed to just hear it.
Yeah,
Um, when I dissolved the mirror, which was a gigantic mirror that had like its own little legs, like an antique, one of those gigantic antique mirrors. When I dissolved it, it gave me a cold burn on my right hand, on the palm of my hand, as I touched it out with, and it was like I could almost actually feel it. It was a burn, but it was a, you know, when you touch something that's so incredibly freezing cold,
yeah.
it actually burns you.
Hmm.
That's what it felt like.
So what do you feel that that means?
Cold burn, the freezing cold burn. I'm being told don't think logically on it. Give him a snap answer. Ha! Quite interesting. This is what came up. When you or somebody else is feeling very cold, they're acting very cold, they tend to tell people things that burn them. They tend to burn bridges. They tend to, meaning burn relationships. When people I guess I don't need to reiterate, but yeah, I mean, it's true. When you, y- so it's telling me be careful when you're feeling agitated and having a cold moment. It's best not to speak to anybody else so that your words don't burn them, your words don't hurt them. But it's also telling me be careful how other people treat you and don't tolerate that. Like my dad was recently diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and my mom's been extremely overwhelmed because every single day my dad's at a doctor's appointment. And it's turned my mom into being extremely bitchy and being completely out of sorts with some of her comments to me. To the point I've actually had to tell her stop acting like a cranky old bitch. It's got to be like you're incredibly drawing the line. You
Hmm.
know, you've overstepped the line, overstepped the boundary there. So it's telling me don't do it to other people, but also don't tolerate it to you. And there is one more thing I have to tell you, which is also telling me, oh, good, also telling me, oh, good God, do we have to hear his name again? But because you hear his name enough times.
Oh,
But it
man,
came,
is this Manny?
yes, of course it is. Because you're probably like, you talk about him all the time. And I honestly, and I tell things to Susie Boo too. She's like, oh my God, again. But his name, if it comes up in a session, it comes up in a session. I can't help it.
I feel
I
like
quite
I know
honestly,
him.
yeah, you do at this point. You know, to be honest with you, it's just sort of like, um, I walked into the session thinking we're not going to discuss him. I brought those 6 things on the list. He wasn't even on the list. So I thought, oh, we're not going to discuss him. We're going to have a session where his name's not even mentioned, and yet it still is. When I was in the whiteness and everything, I was beaming. I was extremely happy. And he was on my right-hand side. That has to be symbolic right there. And he was so beaming and happy for himself and for me and for us. And there was no judgment coming from him. You know, he always likes to squabble. You should do this and you should do that. And my life would be better if you did this. And everything is your fault and all that stuff. But as you did the activation, there was none of that judgment coming from him. But when I dissolved the mirror and stepped forward into my own freedom, he came to me. His energy was there and said, don't leave me behind. I behave the way I do towards you because I'm afraid of you advancing too far, that you'll release me. And so I turned to him during your activation, which I was still hearing every word and participating in, and I asked, how many sessions I said, what do you need? And his energy told me 18 sessions. 18 sessions. But his conscious mind won't do it. And
Okay.
it goes back to what I told you before. I told him you need to work with Hayden. He's 18 sessions, but think about it. Major extreme trauma, issues with drugs. It makes any sense that it would be 18 sessions for tons and tons and tons of different things. But it might not just be for color healing. It'd be 18 sessions for numerous things. I'm not going to get into him, but I found it very interesting when that mirror disappeared and I stepped forward into my freedom. That big revelation came of he's trying to hold me back
Hmm.
because he's afraid if I go too far,
Of
I won't be his
course.
friend anymore.
Of course. A lot of times, it's like um the shadow aspect of the human self wants to stay safe
Yeah,
and it doesn't want to lose the things that are meaningful to it. So of course there is those tendrils that keep them in their place. But for you, you see, what you're doing is you're shining an example of what healing looks like to him. So you're actually helping him by advancing through your own healing journey.
yeah,
And he'll know that from his soul,
yeah.
and that's why he was beaming in the white light with you because he knew.
And there was no judgment from him for
No,
once.
it's just the human aspect of him that is clinging on to, the old thing. But as long as you realize that, you are evolving and you
Mhm.
can disassociate from, being drawn back into the
Yeah,
narratives, and the
yeah,
old identities.
yeah. And when his energy told me, Wait, 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 why are you going forward? Can you wait for me?" And my quick answer was no. And I stepped forward without him, without his energy, because I needed to, because I am more ascended, because I am moving forward. But it did not mean that I was leaving him behind. It
No.
did not mean that there was nothing malicious there. And I know he won't do a healing session with you or whoever because it has to do with him having a low self-worth. Because he tells me I don't need it. I go to places. My other friends pick me up and I go other places, so I don't need a healing. Well, yes, you do, because you still cry about what your family did to you. You still, had the drug issue, which he's better about, but still, you know,
The thing is,
so
like, as
there's
well,
denial there.
it's like when you try and sort of project what you think somebody else needs onto them, they can get quite defensive, so it's almost like
Extremely.
you've just got to, as I said, you surrender, let go, don't
Mhm.
try and control it. And when the time
Yeah,
comes, and if the time comes, just trust he'll seek the right help for himself. And it's
precisely.
very unlikely to be with me because
Yeah.
he associates me with you advancing.
Interesting. That's very interesting. See, I thought it might be with you because he loves the color mirrors and he's actually told other people in the past, "Hey, I want you to take a look at this." He's like, "It really, really works." So that is a step for him that he does believe in the healing of color mirrors. But that might just mean, as you just mentioned, he might work with a different practitioner, and that's perfectly all right. But I know it has to do with his feelings of self-worth because he's come very close to booking an appointment for, not with you, but for a holistic appointment. Then he backs up. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it.
Hmm.
But again, I didn't even think I was going to discuss Manny because I brought up the six things in the email. He wasn't even on the list. The friendship issues, his past arguments, and him calling me lazy when he was out all week and getting high. I mean, none of that came up. And he is doing better. He has ascended, he has progressed, and I know he's using a lot less, so which is great. Um, but I only mention him because in the last activation, I did not expect him to be there. That honestly took me by extreme surprise. I honestly, truly thought when I closed my eyes, it was only going to be me there.
Yeah. And that's fine, because he is a major part of your life. But if we just like reflect on what we've got through today. So you've got the three's shadow is about self-doubt and overthinking.
Mm,
Its mastery is joy, expression, and faith in life's improvisation. The
yeah.
five's shadow is fear of instability. Its mastery is trust in charge as divine choreography. Now, the astrological link we've got is Capricorn's challenge is control. Sagittarian's gift is expansion. So your cusp placement teaches her that faith and discipline can coexist, and it's safe for you to let go and to let life carry you. Now, three questions to journal about after today's session would be ask yourself, where in your life are you still trying to control outcomes out of fear? What would trusting my oversoul fully look like and feel like? And what happens when I replace self-judgment with curiosity? So I'll send you those three journaling prompts as an email afterwards so that you can just spend some time writing about those three things. All
Can you say
right.
the third one more time?
What happens when I replace self-judgment with curiosity?
Ah, I first heard it, there's a train going by, and I first heard it as replace self-judgment with creativity.
Well, maybe that as well, but curiosity certainly,
Curiosity.
yeah. And and then see how you go with that and just trust, in the rhythm of your evolution. And every experience has led you perfectly to this now moment, and that you are now aligned, free, and guided by divine intelligence. So bringing it always back to that. All right. So hopefully you've kind of got what you wanted out of today's session. I think we covered off all the things that you were looking at
Yes, we
doing, and it's
did.
brought you some clarity. I'll send you the recording as well through via WeTransfer. So make sure you download that within 3 days because I'm only on the free plan with WeTransfer, and then it
Yeah.
disappears after 3 days. Okay,
Yeah, I always do it immediately. So,
great.
I mean, I am going to sleep now, so,
I'm
but
hoping
yeah.
that it will allow me to put in a 2 hour long thing. So I'll try, and if not, I'll edit it down into two 1 hour sessions and do them separately for you.
Okay, no problem.
Brilliant. All
Yeah.
right, well, listen, I'll catch you next time around then, Megan.
Yeah, we did a lot today.
We did. We did. Well done.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad I'm actually going to sleep now because I think the best thing to do after a 2-hour session, a 2-hour appointment is honestly just to rest.
Exactly. And when you go to bed, just bring in the Ascended Masters Zadkiel and Saint Germain from the Violet Ray. Just bring those
Yeah.
two characters in.
Oh,
Nice,
it's
handsome
interesting.
men for you to go to bed with there.
Yeah, I am gonna jump in the shower though. But I can also imagine the purple rays washing on me and healing me
hmm
as well. And then
Absolutely.
then I'll imagine them as I drift off to sleep.
Beautiful. All right, then. Well, I'll see you next time, Megan. Bye for now.
Bye for now.